What's up, guys? It's me, Tim, with the Gutter Growth Podcast. Today I got Adam Sylvester with me. Adam hosts the Jobber Podcast, and he also has a company in, you say, Charlottesville?
Yep, that's right.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
Introduction, or
what's that?
You give us a little introduction?
Yeah, so my name's Adam Sylvester. A lot of people know me from the Jobber Podcast, Masters of Home Service. I own a gutter company here in Virginia called Charlottesville Gutter Pros. We've been around for 5 years, and I spun this company out of my first company, my lawn care business, which I still run, although gutter business is a little bit bigger. Got 5 kids, happily married, and happy to be here.
Nice. You got me beat on the kids. I got 4.
Well, I just beat you 3 weeks ago. So
congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So how'd you get into gutters? I know you said you kind of fell into it from lawn care, but how'd that come about?
You know, I was to me, the grandfather of gutters, at least here on the East Coast, is a guy named Donovan Questenberry. And I actually was talking to him online through the Jobber Facebook group, I think, and it just seemed like he was doing really well.
Yep.
And my lawn care business was doing fine, but I wasn't setting any records. And so I went down to visit him. And for all day, I left my house at 4 a.m., got there at 8, hit Starbucks. Then we just traveled around following his guys around. One pair of guys, they cleaned like 10 houses. They did gutter brightening. They power washed a house, and they flushed like 6 underground drains. I was like, what am I doing? So I came home the next day I started the company, and not completely officially yet, because we've been subbing out gutters a little bit through the lawn care business and everything. And
yep.
But I just saw an opportunity. It's funny, up until that point, I had done some research, which was just like, some Googling. Oh, there's not much gutter business to be had here. No, that's not really worth pursuing. Well, I was totally wrong. And the next 12 months totally proved that I was wrong. And it was pretty easy to get business. It still is pretty easy to get business. And, when you look across the street, there's a big pile of gold on their side and no one sees it but you. You just walk across the street and just get it. And that's what I did.
A lot of the money's in like the non-sexy businesses.
Totally. Yeah. No one, my first business, my competitors, like a lot of times, like the guy who owns the house, cut grass. Oh, that's too expensive. I'll do it myself. But no one does the gutters themselves ever. And so you're competing against other professionals. In some cases, a lot of our listeners have true competitors who are actually doing the business right. A lot of our listeners have competitors that are skew balls, and they're clowns, and that's nice when you have clowns as your competitors. But regardless, the pie is almost always big enough for everyone. It's just a question comes down to how big is your slice, and I'm trying to make our slice as big as we can.
And a lot of people don't realize that they're just not even. They might not have work, but it's because they're not grabbing a piece of that pie. They don't have enough marketing out there. They're just not getting enough share of it, but it's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to a guy this morning who sent me a text. I met with him for lunch 5 or 6 months ago, and he was asking me some questions. And I said, dude, like the goal is to become a sales and marketing machine so that you have a predictable customer acquisition channel. So, based on data, I'm going to get 30 leads this month. I'm just based on my inputs. That's what's going to happen. A lot of our listeners, a lot of people in the business are just like every day they wake up hoping there's leads, hoping, oh, what's going to happen today? I go out and kill something. But like I killed it 6 months ago, and now it's going to show up on my doorstep today as a lead because of the inputs and the inputs and the inputs I put in for the last 5 years, and at least in the last 3 to 6 months. And then the lead shows up. So the output really comes out after you put in a lot of input. And, in our business, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. But he seemed to be like, how do I get leads? And I was like, well, there's a lot of ways to get leads.
Yeah.
So
I like to look at them as like separate markets too. Like I know everyone hates on Angie's leads. I kind of hated on them too. I used that company back when it was Service Magic, like 12 years ago. And then used them for Home Advisor. Now they're Andy's leads, and I've stayed away from them for a few years. But like when I'm looking at my Christmas light business, I got Google pretty much maxed out. I'm sure I could spend more on Facebook, but then it's just like there's this other market over here that, if I don't grab any of those, just someone else is. And
yeah,
it's probably not my best lead. But if I'm already exhausted on Google, I mean, why not get that market too?
Well, there's different levels of marketing in my view. You know, level one is yard signs and wrapping your vehicles. You know, things like that. Door hangers, 9 rounds, social media posts that are free. Like that's round one of marketing. Once you saturate all that, then you're like, well, maybe you go do some Google ads and local service ads and those kinds of things. Well, then eventually in my area, I can only spend $2,000 a month on Google ads.
On Google ads, and you're max
to do any more. So my budget might be 10 grand, but Google's only able to spend 2,000 on average.
Right.
Okay. So I can't just like Hormozy and just like dial it up 10x. I can't do that with Google ads. Okay. Well, then what's next? Well, maybe it's social media video, maybe it's content, maybe it's social meta ads, or maybe it's direct mail. Like one of my goals for 2026 is become like to master direct mail.
I mean, it's definitely something you have to master. It's one of those things. Like if you do it right, it really works.
Yeah, like, and I feel, you know, I looked for 6 months. I've been looking around and trying to find someone who really knows direct mail, who can prove to me that they got results. And I haven't been able to find it yet. It seems like it's a unicorn. You know, I think people stab at it. Anyway, all that to say, going back to the customer acquisition predictability of leads is like, if I can become a master at direct mail, then I own that. Like I'm not reliant on Google anymore, or the county taking down my yard signs on the side of the road. And so like that's gonna be a main focus of mine this year, is to master direct mail, experiment a lot, spend a lot of money on it, and then hopefully come away with like a system for that. So that's exciting for me.
How do you feel about meta ads?
So that I haven't done meta ads yet. I haven't had to. You know, I've experimented. I've talked to my marketing team about that, and just don't need it yet. In fact, I'd rather get better at direct mail than meta.
What's the reason?
I feel like I just have more control over it.
Okay.
You know, from a USPS standpoint, the price isn't really going to change much over the next 10 years. But like, gosh, in 10 years, meta could be like unrecognizable from where it is now. Whereas like people will still own homes, still have postcards, and still have mail. Now, oh, Adam, you only get like 1% open rate. I get all that. That's what I'm going to try and try to master it. But if I can master it and get like predictable leads from it, I'd rather own that than social, just simply because social is so volatile. I think we could do both. But social is not nearly as exciting to me as like uncracking the code as direct.
You're like on meta, like if you don't have the perfect ad or the perfect video or the perfect creative, you could just be wasting your money. So I feel like that's something that you should like test out 5, 10 different things, and then whatever's performing, get rid of the rest. And
totally. And to your point, in some ways I am doing meta. So I don't think you should spend $1,000 and just post whatever YouTube video you created on your own. I think that you should like shoot BBs first and like test the market and see which videos perform well. And then like choose the top 10 videos you've got done the last year and then run meta ads on those. And I'm in the next 1 or 2 months, I'll have about 6 months of content. I'll be able to start running meta ads with the top videos. So I might try that this spring and see how it goes, but I'm not putting a whole lot of eggs in that basket right now.
I'm really intrigued with the direct mail thing. I know a couple people that the Google ads was just getting too pricey, just too expensive. So they went the direct mail route, and like it's really scalable.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because we're saturated with all of our other marketing channels, that's important caveat. Like, because we're maxing out everything else already, I'm moving into these other channels that I didn't do for 5 years for a reason.
Yeah.
So the number one I think has the most value is direct mail. The second one is referrals. And I've been in business for a long time. And I've just never been very strong with referrals. Oh, Adam, like I get all my business from referrals. I don't get any business from my website. Really? Like I get all my business from my website and like virtually none from referrals. So you can skin a cat two different ways, but I don't know why. I've just never been a referral guy. But back in August, I started really pushing referrals. And so I have lunch meetings every week, if I can, with someone in my city who can refer business to me. It's just all B2B.
Every week you're doing a lunch meeting.
Yeah, with somebody.
Is it just one person, or are you just picking out one person?
So far, one person. Yeah, one person at a time. These are builders, handymen, power washers, these guys who claim to do gutters, but they really suck at it, like that kind of stuff. And just saying like, hey, man, like you cut grass for a living. Why are you sending your guys up in the air to do gutters? Like, doesn't make any sense. Your guys hate it. You hate it. Send me all your business. I'll give you kickback, and voila. Like, we don't need to live in silos. You don't have to feel like, well, if I don't do the gutter thing, then they'll drop me for everything else for lawn care. No, they won't. You don't fix their toilet. Do they drop you for that? Like, right. Since when did gutters and grass become like intertwined? I don't like that.
Never. I've never heard that.
I don't like that. It's like around here, all the lawn care companies will like do gutters.
Really?
But we all know that they do schmucky work. So I've been trying to partner, and like it's generated over 50 grand just through those partners. And so I feel like if I can really hammer that next year, meet with a bunch of plumbers, a bunch of HVAC people, anyone who's in a home. So they're just like, hey, by the way, I got this from my friend Phil Richard with Flash Consulting. Like, hey, if we're going to do your plumbing for you, but like, do you have any gutter problems? As a matter of fact, I do. Well, great. Why don't I'll have Gutter Pros call you tomorrow. Great. Sounds good. And that's a lead. So we're tinkering. We're not tinkering with that. We tinkered with that a few months ago. Now we're in the next phase of like really figuring it out. But referrals are really sweet, and they're free. But they're not free. They're $50. I pay people $50.
You pay people, right? So
Google Ads is $120. So I'll take that. And that's for a paid invoice. That's not for a lead. So it's way better. And it's a win-win. Like almost every single one of them close.
So how are you coming up with these meetings? Are you just running into someone? Hey, let's get together. Or
yeah. So my marketing team sent out an email to a list of about 300 similar contractors in town, painters, a whole gambit. And I was shocked at how many people responded to that email. It was a series of 3 or 4 emails. And so I got a few from that. And then the rest was just me just dialing for dollars, calling up, Googling different lock doctors and locksmiths and whoever we came up with. Just calling them and seeing if they were interested. And with builders and like handymen, for example, hey, do you do gutters? 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, what you need. They don't really do gutters. They just sub it out to somebody. They don't, it's just kind of an afterthought for them. Yeah. I mean, my guy's got a gutter machine that he has in his basement.
Handyman's going to say he does everything no matter what.
Yeah. It's like, so then I introduce myself and they're like, oh, great. Yeah, no, we don't do gutters. And so there's a potential partnership there. It doesn't always work out, but so that's what I'm working on right now is a lot of direct mail stuff and a lot of referral partner stuff, just because I'm trying to get our lead costs down. Google is a lot and it makes me mad. Besides, we don't get, like most of our business doesn't come from Google anyway. A lot of it comes from organic or organic, it's a whole machine. Yeah. So anyway, those are the things I'm working on right now.
It's so funny, the different regions, because I run into that a lot because I'm coaching. You got about 90 different guys for coaching, in all different regions. And some of them is just like that. Like they just don't have the search volume on Google to even do paid ads.
Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine I would tap it out with Meta as well. We do a lot of TV.
Okay.
And
how's that go?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When, I talked to what got me into it was the 2021, February 2022 Super Bowl. So I was planning ahead 6 months. So in 2021, I reached out to NBC and they're like, yeah, we have it this year. And so I filmed it with him for the Super Bowl. Well, he was like, well, come on, man. Like, why don't we do like some Sunday Night Football stuff throughout the fall? And I was like, that's got to be a waste of money, but I'll try it. Yeah. I never looked back.
Is the Super Bowl expensive?
The Super Bowl cost me $3,000.
That ain't bad.
I spent $8,000 last year because I just ran it all day long, pregame.
Why did I think it'd be crazier?
What's that?
Why did I think it would be crazier priced?
Well, it's just local. You know, if you're Nike, it's a lot more.
Oh, so it's just going to play in your. I got you.
Yeah, the local station plays.
Or
exactly.
Nike, they're playing it nationwide, and that's for
the like there's like 10 local spots that they get. The local station gets to for all your local handyman, and you're like, we've been in business for 57 years, and you should call John at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we did TV because here's the thing, like in our area, if you Googled gutter cleaning in Charlottesville 5 years ago, nothing came up. Lawn care guy, maybe a handyman, maybe a painter, maybe a power washer guy, like nothing. Your options were nothing. And so, but we came along and said, hey, if you want your gutters cleaned by a technician who's cleaned 1,000 homes, then call us. Well, that was an easy sell. And so, but we just had to get the word out because people were so accustomed to like getting the guy off the street to do their gutters, and then never see them again. So once we started running TV ads, I don't run TV ads for my lawn care business because I think it would be stupid because it's easy to find a lawn care company. But for gutters in our town, TV bridged that gap of like awareness.
It gave awareness to the public.
Yeah. So like, and so now we run a lot of different commercials and some punchy ones and all that. But TV has been really big for us. I think we spent like $60,000 on TV in 2025. We'll spend a lot more of that this year. So TV has been big for us. And it's just consistency, and so TV's awesome for the right market for sure.
Now is it I mean, obviously the Super Bowl is probably more expensive, so what's the pricing like generally?
So like Sunday night football, for example, Sunday night, Falcons versus Saints is usually like $500 each Sunday night, one spot, $500, a lot of eyeballs.
What type of
but like new news when no one's watching is $50.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like
nobody's watching.
It's a huge range of price, and college football might be $200. Local news at 6 o'clock might be like $100. That kind of stuff.
So do you think like the the football nights, it's worth it, the extra spend?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
So far it has, but here's the thing. And I've been thinking about this a lot the last 6 months in terms of the strategy for TV is I don't do a whole lot of news. And I haven't done news because one, it's not flashy, and we're flashy. Okay.
Yeah.
That matters to me.
Yeah.
And two, my perception is that like no one watches the news anymore. Okay. But a lot of people tell me, oh, Adam, you run TV. No one watches TV anymore. And I say, well, did you watch the game last night? Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing. And then they smile and they're like, okay, never mind. Right.
Yeah,
and so like people still watch TV, but I don't watch the news, but I'm not my target audience. It's 60-year-old, 45 to 60 is my target audience, and they're watching the news some, and it's cheaper. So I'm definitely going to keep the sports thing going. The Masters, March Madness. I'm going to keep the sports thing going through, because if it's working, you don't want to break that. You just want to add to what's working, right? You don't want to just be like, well, I'm going to change everything. That'd be silly. So we're going to keep what we're doing and add in a lot of news, and then do our best. You can't track TV. You can't track it. So you just gotta. But like we're going to try to play.
It's hard to track, right? Are you asking on the phone or?
Well, everyone will tell you, oh yeah, I saw on TV. But they also might have clicked your Google ad. They also might have seen your yard sign. They also might have seen your.
You're just hearing the branding perspective.
Yeah, they might have seen our shop, which is on the main highway in our town with our sign. Like. They're seeing us in multiple ways, but a lot of people, I saw you on TV, or I saw you doing football, or saw you. So yeah, TV definitely works. So we can usually try to get a feel if people saw us during the news. But honestly, man, like people do not remember that kind of stuff. Oh, I just saw you.
Yeah.
One of my main technicians, he grew up in the radio business. This is funny. His parents own a bunch of radio stations, and his mom was in charge of advertising. And people would often say, constantly for 30 years, she would hear this. I saw you on the radio. Not I heard you. I saw you on the. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Over and over for decades, people would say that, and it's just our brains are funny, and so you ask people, "Oh, you saw me on TV. What were you watching?" Oh, I have no idea. So it's
hard. It's really hard to narrow it down. You just knew it came from TV somewhere.
You do your best to track it, but at the end of the day, it's not really trackable, and you just do the best you can. But it's working. It's working because people talk about it all the time.
Have you done the Weather Channel?
Okay, so the only other TV that I've gotten into is online OTT. It's digital TV. So if you watch TV on like a Fire Stick, like
Yeah.
online digital TV. We're on that
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
So if someone pulls us up on like their MacBook Pro on the couch and watch TV,
You can narrow that down to territory as well.
but we haven't done any ESPN or Weather Channel. We haven't done any cable or anything. And I should do Fox News. And
the reason why I ask is because the first gutter company I ever worked for, and this is going back 23 years ago or so, but he did really good off of the news channel. You know, it was cheap.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually going to be
Weather Channel. I mean,
the Weather Channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on my docket this year, is to figure out like,
it's raining, you know, gutters, rain.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I guarantee you that leaf filter is on all those channels. So I need to be on those channels too, because we compete against them and all that kind of stuff. So
they're pretty big in your area.
Yeah, they don't have a branch in our area, but they send sales guys out here and they sub out to, you know, some cheap guy who won't be around for 6 months. 6 months. Yeah, I've interviewed a couple leaf filter guys, and man, I've never come across a sharp one, unfortunately. I'm sure there are some, but it's tough.
I've taken some guys that were, you know, subbing for leaf filter when they first got in, and then gotten them away from that, and then they started growing pretty decent companies. But
yeah, you can't make any money doing sub work for a leaf filter at all, ever.
No, it's maybe if you just got a machine and you got literally nothing going, but I think you should get away from it pretty quickly.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta have your own clients. Yeah.
I like bidding up against a company. I mean, I don't hate on them, because it's like,
keeps you sharp.
Yeah, and then they're priced so high. I mean, you could have a decent price and come in looking like a saint.
Right. Yeah. The weird thing that we have in our area is like they'll go in and say like, Miss Betty, it's $10,000, and oh, that's too much. Well, how about 9,000?
How about 5?
Dude, I kid you not. I have paperwork to prove it. I've seen with my own eyeballs. I've seen a quote go down 90%.
Wow.
That's not exaggeration. So you imagine if it was $100, it ended at $10. And you know what she said? I was like, now, ma'am, would you feel comfortable approving a quote from a company who did that? Like, start off with this and all the way down here? No, that's sleazy. You know, okay. Next week, I call her and she's like, well, I went with them. It was just so cheap. It was such a good offer. I was like, ma'am, you literally told me that's sleazy. Yeah, but it was such a good price. That's why leaf filter is in business, because of people like her. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, there's a marketplace for everybody.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it, but I guess they just got the reason why they're priced that high. Like everyone was, why are they priced that high? They have to be, or else they can't put the marketing in like they are. That's why they're everywhere.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the price being high. Our prices are high.
Yeah,
I just don't like the sales tactics that I've heard from clients that they got. And so our guys are trained. They basically can't cut the price. If they lower the price, they have to change the scope.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I do. I don't lower prices. I'll take away. We'll do less.
Yeah. So like this car is $10,000. I can't afford that. Can you do 8? Well, no, but that car is $8,000. Do you want to buy that one? This car is 10. And so in the gutter world, in the drain world, oh, like $3,000 to bury new drains. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, well, can you do it? Well, we can do it for a little bit less if, and there has to be an if. There has to be condition. If we wait till the fall, or if we do it tomorrow, or if we send our B squad who's just learning how to do drain, there's got to be an if, because if you say, sure, I'll take it, do it for less, that doesn't feel right. And they don't think it feels right. And maybe you get a couple approvals that way, but I'm just not a big fan of just cutting the price just because the scope of the job must change to maintain integrity, in my opinion.
That, and keep your margins where they should be, right? Because
you got to make money.
Giving stuff away, you know, your margins are going down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the overhead doesn't change.
Yeah. And, you know, like we have a lot of our guys sell, you know, we have kind of a weird business. We have a weird organizational structure, because I started this business. I didn't know anything about gutter. You know, a lot of our listeners on this podcast were gutter technicians, you know, like Grant Hubbard, you know, he was the gutter guy. He knows gutters. And a lot of our listeners like were a technician or an installer, and then they went on their own, and, you know, a technician, seizure, you know, that Michael Gerber calls, like they just went out that they thought they could do better than anybody else. So they started business, but they're not really business people. Yeah. I was the opposite, because I didn't know anything about gutters at all.
Knew more about business.
I knew about lawn. Yeah. And so this is my second business, and man, starting a second business is a whole lot easier than starting the first one. Like so much easier. And so like, I knew a lot of ways what to do. And so but I didn't, the way we start off was we had technicians that would sell. So they might go do a job and then like stop by Miss Betty at the end of the day and do a sales presentation or quote for her. Right. And that's grown as the company grown. And so now we have technicians that just sell.
You still do that.
We still do that. And there's pros and cons.
How does that work?
There's pros and cons. There's a lot of cons. There's a few pros, a lot of cons. The benefit is that I don't have all my eggs in one basket with like one or two salespeople, right? It's the responsibility of the sale is spread across a lot of individuals who get reps and get good at it, and they like it, and it's just good. A lot of times the technician who sells it will then do the job. Clients like that. Okay. They like, oh, will you be here to do the job? Yes, I'll be here. Great. That's not a end all be all, but that is a benefit that clients like. The problem is it's just inefficient. Obviously it's terribly inefficient because you go from, instead of having a focused guy who's hunting all day, his attention is split between construction and sales. Yeah. And, so there's that. And just like there's just a gap of inefficiency. It's a little bit more expensive too. So, I could see us going to a different model down the road once, but right now, probably not yet. But yeah, it's a weird. But like that's what happened because I started the business the way I did. I had never worked for a gutter company. No one I've ever hired worked for a gutter company. So they don't. We didn't know anything. So when Grant Hubbard came and trained us a year and a half ago, he was like, "What are you guys doing? Where's your diagram?" And we're like, "What's a diagram?" And he was like, a diagram, like how the gutter's gonna be installed. We had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
And so like, we really started with nothing in terms of like knowledge, and we just learned over time. So it's a bit of a weird way of starting a business and weird, we have some weird ways of doing things, but we always do a good job for the client, and that's what matters. So
do they have like incentive obviously on the sales, so they make a little extra money, your guys?
Yeah. Sales commission was a little bit higher than it should be, but it is what it is. Yeah. And so there's incentive. Yeah. And we do a lot of upsells. So when we do 40% cleaning, so 40% of our revenue is cleaning. And
so you're going to have corners and splash guards and downspouts that are crushed.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of upsells there, leaks, we do a lot of strainers, especially in our area. We do a lot of strainers. If they don't want screens, we don't push screens super hard. We just do strainers, especially if they have underground drainage. Some listeners don't know what that is because different parts of the country don't have them. But like in our area, our downspout half the time doesn't exit above ground. It goes into a black corrugated pipe underground out in the yard and into the woods or whatever. And that gets clogged just like gutters do. And so literally like 40 grand of our TV or 20 grand of our TV budget last year was educating people on your drains get clogged just like your gutters. But people neglect that. They don't think about that. And so what they do is they hire our competition to just blow the gutters out real fast, downspout, or they don't even do the downspout, and they're just wasting their money because we all know they get clogged. The downspouts clogged, the water will literally just go right back up and overflow. And if the drain is clogged, same thing happens. Oh my gosh, this guy's been cleaning my gutters for 3 years, and they always overflow. It's because your drains are clogged, ma'am.
Yeah,
we fix that for you. He can't, but we can. And so we really diagnose the entire gutter. Like our company, to be clear, we are not gutter installers. We have a trailer, we have a machine, all that kind of stuff, but we're not gutter install. We don't install 600 linear feet a day.
Okay.
We clean, we install, repair, and we do drains. We diagnose the entire gutter system, the gutter, the downspout, and the drain. And we're just educating our market more and more and more, so that because the more they're educated, the less they'll go with the other guy once they realize the difference. That's my job as the owner, is like educating the public, and that's through sales and marketing.
Is that mainly how you're utilizing the TV?
Yeah. And then we use high level for lead nurture. And so one of the first videos and messages that people get after they submit a request or call us or whatever is just a message from me, and an automated message from me. And it's just like, watch this, it's the 3 parts of the gutter system. It's online. You guys listeners can go find it if they want to, but it's an animated video I made to educate our clients. Hey,
so you're going to lead, they get a video real quick.
Yeah. And say, hey, we're working on getting back to you, but in the meanwhile, watch this. And we've had people say, you know what, my problem's number 3. Did you watch the video? Yeah. It's definitely the drain. My gutters were fine, but there's something wrong with my drains. And that video gives them words to explain the problem. If you can give people words to say, if you can describe their problem better than they can, you get all the business. So you go to the doctor, and this isn't fresh. I got this from Don Miller and some, his stuff, but like, you're the doctor and he's like, so when when this happened, did that happen next? Yeah. Okay. And then I'm guessing that guy stopped being your friend after that. Yeah. And then he kind of spiraled into like no control. How did you know? It's like, because I do this for a living. I all day. I know how this works. I know how. And so if we can tell our clients like, oh, so are you seeing overflow here, or there? As a matter of fact, right there. Great. Let's come fix it. And they're like, wow, that guy really must know what he's doing, because he just told me what my problem was without me even telling him. Yeah. So that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting to. That's really important.
I like that. And you're probably the only company sending a video too. So they call a couple of companies like you're the only one that's giving them a high level video. That sets you apart for sure.
Yeah. And we put that video on TV too, just this graphic. And so people will be like, they'll call us on a Sunday night at 10 after they saw the TV commercial and say, hey, I just saw your commercial about drains. I definitely have a drain problem. I didn't realize that until I saw your video. I've been getting my gutters cleaned by who knows who the last 10 years and nothing's happened. That's good. And I just want to give you guys a try. And so once you start educating, it really turns the market around.
How long are most of the TV ads?
They're all 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, you can mess around, do 15 and 5s, some, but the vast majority are 30.
Yeah, you kind of need it to get your whole message across, right?
Yeah, every now and then your listeners are like, hey, wait, now I just timed a Nike commercial and it was 45. Some of the bigger companies, the nationwide commercials like Progressive, they'll have longer commercials, but pretty much every local TV commercial is 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the football idea because that is when everyone's watching it.
It's worked for us. Yeah, it's worked for us. There's a local guy here who has a handyman company and he has a podcast I listen to. And one day I was like, wait, this guy's in my town. Anyway, that's kind of a funny story, but he was saying how he this was a few years ago. He said, I always have a TV commercial running when Tiger Woods is on TV. Just always. People watch Tiger Woods. And I was like, you know what? He's right. So like during the Masters, every golf tournament that Tiger Woods is playing in, he's always running TV ads. And that's actually how I got started with TV in the first place, was that little recommendation from him and his podcast. And then of course now we run all the time. But like same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Everybody watches Patrick Mahomes. Like if you look at the data on TV watch, like his game gets way more views than everybody else. Now he's injured now. But like you gotta figure out like what's hot for you. Yeah. And because usually the price is the same whether you watch the Chiefs or whether you're watching the Ravens. Or
golf is huge down in my area because Palm Beach County, there's like so many golf courses. I'd imagine that'd be a good time to jump on.
Totally.
And the right age group too. I mean, those guys are in the age where they're spending money.
They're homeowners. They have money. Yeah, the right age. Totally, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So do you got any tips for anyone?
Yeah, I think that people in your business matter a lot. And I think that if you want to scale, then you have to scale on people. Now, one of the things that I'm learning right now, the hard way in some ways, is that you want to build your business around positions, not people. I got this great guy and he's the best and I couldn't do it without him. Oh, he's the best. And you realize that he's a unicorn. If he left, you'd be screwed.
Right.
Or you end up stretching positions because of the guy is special, however he's special and all that. And you realize that you have a business built on people. Now, people are important. Don't get me wrong. People are the most important part of your business. But if you build your business around people, around each person's unique weaknesses and strengths, it gets really awkward and cumbersome. And so I'm in the process of, in a sense, rebuilding a little bit around positions. Mm-hmm. And so if so-and-so leaves or gets a better opportunity or whatever, it's not as big of a deal.
Right.
Or I could say, hey guys, this is what every single position here pays. My plumber friends, the Sunweaver guys, they're here in town. They're so good at this. They're young. They're going to the moon. And from day one, they laid out like what a what an apprentice makes, what the next level is, all the way up to like master plumber, different spiffs, different commission rates, all this kind of stuff. And so you could literally, if you work there, you could literally walk in and point to each person and know exactly how much they're making, what their spiff is and all that, which is fine, which is good. So you know exactly what you'll get when you get to that point, minus inflation.
Right.
And I didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
I didn't do that from the beginning. So now I'm basically going back. And in some ways, I'm rebuilding the foundation of the house after the house is built. The house is fine. And the house would be fine forever if we continue this way. But I don't want to be fine. I want to be like excellent and thriving, you know, and scale even bigger. I'm a huge house. So in order to do that, we need to just have a little more definition, like define roles and KPIs. Like, hey, this is what you're aiming for: revenue, productivity, all these kinds of targets. And a little hazy on that, and that's come up lately. So I need to fix that and tighten that up a little bit. But
Yeah,
you want to build your position, your company around positions, not people.
Yeah, Grant teaches about that, and like what he does is like you might bring someone in that's, you know, training, they're an apprentice, you know, and then they're gonna go up in levels. But instead of them being like, hey, you know, time for a raise, boss, it's like they already know what they're expected to do in order to get that raise. Like, this is the next level. You have to be able to complete these things.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you look at the guy and say, well, have you done the things yet or not? Well, no. Well, then why are we having this conversation?
Yeah.
It's that simple. And it's not that simple for me yet. And so we're working towards that. But I mean, at each level of business, you know, we had a great year in 2025. I'm very thankful, but there's still a million things I want to change. There's still a million things I'm still trying to master. There's still a million things I haven't even learned yet. Right. And so when you can look back in the rearview mirror and think, wow, I've learned so much over the last 5 years. I built a pretty good company and things are good, but like, I don't want to look in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
I want to look in the windshield, look ahead. Like what's in the horizon? Oh, this and all these different goals that we have and much bigger. And we got to buy more vehicles and hire more people. We have, you know, people spend so much money on marketing and advertising and they spend like no money on recruiting. This is a big Tommy Mello thing. He's like, what are you going to do? Like you're trying to get all these technicians and installers and you don't invest. And so one of the things I'm going to be doing in 2026 is investing a lot more in and man, I hate that all of our eggs are in one basket with Indeed. There's just not a whole lot for
Indeed's what's working right now.
Yeah. And so like, you know, I'm brainstorming a few other ideas, but like for the most part, we're just looking at Indeed. Anyway, with all that said, we're going to spend a lot more time investing in marketing with like marketing for like hires and recruiting so that we can actually scale. Cause right now we're hiring like 2 or 3 people a year. Or not even, you know, 1, maybe 2 people a year. I think we hired 3 people this year. That's the most we've ever hired, but I want to hire like 8 and then like double, you know, cause we're ready we can double now without like breaking the systems. So that's the goal.
That's what I tell people too. Like, if you know that you have to, like, you know that you're not going to get a lead without advertising and you got to do that all year around. Like, why aren't we spending money on, you know, advertising to get employees all year round? Because everyone just waits until like last minute. It's like, hey, you know, this guy quit or he fell off the ladder or something. Now I'm in a situation. I got to get this body in here. And that's what they do is they stir some ads up and just get a body in here. And it's like the hire's too fast. It's the wrong hire. But if you're doing it all year round, you're going to have all these other options that you wouldn't have. And, you know, you might find that right person that you might want to move things around for, turn up the advertising.
Right. Some of our best hires have come in the slow season. You know, back April, the tariffs killed us in April. But I hired 2 guys the first week of April second week of April, when things were really bad for us. We were like day to day in terms of amount of work, which never happens. I was like, but it's not gonna be like this forever. You know, I could be silly if I was like, oh no, I can't hire you guys. We're not busy today. That's crazy. Some of our best hires have come in the winter when their employer slowed down so much they couldn't work anymore. So they come work for me. All I have to do is keep them busy for like a little while, but that's totally worth it to have like a long-term staff member, right? Like that's totally several $1,000s in the winter in order to have a guy who's really good. That's totally worth it to me. And but, like their employer didn't see it that way. Like, oh, we got to let you go. You come back in March. I'm not coming back in March. Go somewhere else, you know? So we've hired a lot of people in that off season. One thing I've been doing lately, I started with Indeed, because Indeed is so overwhelming. Your listeners are like, oh my gosh, like Indeed, I hate Indeed. I get like 100 applications a day, right? Well, what we do is we have an automation within Indeed, which it's all Indeed has this feature, and you can message them immediately. So they apply. Obviously, they're click. They're clicking every single one. Anyway. Yeah, you're not special to them yet. So they get this message from you that says, "Hey, John, it's Adam. So glad that you saw our ad. The next step is very bold, very clear. Next step: click this link and fill out this form."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You look at top. You look like a great guy. Nothing happens until you fill out that form. Well, because what we realized was that we were getting on the phone with all these candidates doing phone screens and stuff. We were asking the same questions over and over again, and a lot of them were knockout questions. Yeah, like we don't allow tattoos on our face.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so, and we don't do plugs either. And so, do you have any tattoos on your face? Yes. Okay. Have a great life. Good luck. Well, that can be done in a form. And so now we have I think it's like a 19 question form. It's short. There's a video of me saying, "Hey, congratulations for making this far. We have a lot of veterans on our team. We have a lot of great guys on our team. We're married. We have kids. We're happy. We're great guys. Yeah, you'll want to join our team." That kind of video. It's like 45 seconds of video. Yeah. But fill out this form. And it's like the first 6 are knockout questions. Okay. Some of them are like, do you have a driver's license? Because you have to drive our vehicles. So there's 6 knockout questions. And then after that, it says, "Hey, congratulations. You got through your 6 knockout questions. Now, please continue." And it asks them for their height and weight. It asks what year they graduated high school. It asks them what their superpower is. What skills do you have in our industry? All those things. So now we can go through a spreadsheet, because all those go into a spreadsheet, and we can pick out, okay, that guy is way overweight. Okay, that guy just simply is just too short. That guy simply, all these things that we have to grade. And then, okay, that guy's great. Oh shoot, no, he's not gonna work because he lives like an hour away. All those things we have. So now we're only calling like the best candidates. So we might get 100 and only call like 10, but we didn't spend hours on the phone. I wish I'd done this years ago. So I hope your listeners take something from that. That has changed.
It's very valuable.
That has changed my life. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I agree. I mean, run them all year round. If you can weed them out, you'll find, because maybe 2 times, 3 times out of the year, you might find a technician that's 5 years experience. Yeah. You're not going to find that if you don't always have your fishing hook out.
Totally. You always have to have the bobber in the water, because if you don't, and you can't throw the bobber in what if you're hungry at midnight? You can go fishing at midnight. The fish don't bite at midnight. They fight. They bite. Well, I don't know about fishing, but like you have to have that bobber in all the time, so that when you are hungry, you can pull the bobber out of the lake and have a fish. And I think a lot of people made the mistake with marketing in general and with recruiting. Oh, I'll just start fishing now. It's too late, man. You got to be fishing 3 months ago. It takes a long time to hire somebody. It takes us a long time. We have high standards. It's also it's just hard to hire on. Everybody knows it's just hard to find people that are legit. It takes a while. So unless you get lucky, you got to have a lot of time under your belt.
Especially with the experienced guys. If you get an experienced guy that, they've been around the block, they've worked for companies that they've went to, and now all of a sudden the company's dried up on work, or there's these issues, and they're good at what they do and they don't want these issues. So they're going to be a lot less likely to just come over. They want to feel you out, make sure you're a good company to work for. Yeah. That they're going to be safe working there.
Right. Yeah. We want to hire people that we would have over for dinner.
Yeah.
And that's hard to find. And so you just got to you have to go through a lot of candidates, and it takes time. If it was easy, everybody would do it. What we have found is a lot of people in our area with experience are not qualified to work here. And so we have to just go green and train people. And I love what Robert Word said on the podcast a few months ago. He was like, yeah, we just have a training program, 2.5 weeks. We train them up, and then we put them out in the field, and now they're, at least they're some baseline, like they're ready to go.
He's doing it at high level.
He is doing it. And that's probably, for me, that's probably 2 years out, to be honest. Yeah. We're not quite there yet. But yeah, that's what we need to be doing. And so what we do as a replacement of having an actual training facility and program and all that is we just pair an apprentice with somebody, and they pretty much don't get unpaired for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
But here's the Well, I'll stop there, but yeah, so that helps a lot, but they jump around for different crew leaders, and it's very jolting and hard for them to like really grasp. But if they're with the same guy for a while, that can help a lot. Just the continuity and the consistency and stuff. Like, hey, remember last week how I showed you this? Well, now I'm going to show you this and this. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. You can build a lot easier. So I think that's the best like alternative to not having a training program. But yeah, I kind of feel like there's and this is I'm preaching to myself here. I think there's some sort of ethical obligation we have to our clients to not just send somebody brand new to like do their gutters. You know, like now a brand new guy could do it to the standard. And there's ways of doing it. You have senior guys check in everything, but like to a certain degree, like our clients don't want the guy who started yesterday doing their service. Like, do I want a brand new guy doing my HVAC service? No, like I want to know what nobody's doing. So I think there's some ethical professionalism that has to be accounted for here. And I'm preaching myself. So we do our best to train the guys on like really easy stuff first, so that they're prepared. We don't just throw the guys in the fire. At least we try not to.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you do, at least, hopefully you got a lead guy there to lead it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I got to do that with my Christmas light business. Because like I've had, this is my third season, I've had 100% retention. I just know that's not realistic. That's going to change at some point. And I grow quite a bit every year. So there's going to be a point where I just need to have like a week program. Lights might not take as long to train as gutters, but like, like a week program that I put them in before.
Yeah. Well, because it's seasonal, it's even better because you just have that training on September 1st. I have a buddy of mine out on the West Coast. He does that. They do a lot of Christmas light business, and they hire like 20 or 30 guys all just in the fall. And
are you doing any of it or no?
So we 3x'd our Christmas lights business in 2025. That means we did 3 jobs instead of 1. And so here's the deal. Like, we are the busiest in the fall. It's not a good time for us. All the gutter cleanings, we do like about $300,000 just in those last 2 months in November, December, just cleaning. Yeah. And so we have to staff up even more for Christmas lights. So to answer your question, we do lights. We did 3 jobs this year, which was cool. I like to do like 50 jobs next year and so we really start doing it for real. But I don't want to take away from our real business, our core business.
Sounds like
we made promises to people that we're coming, all that kind of stuff. So that's a weird balance for us. But the long-term play is definitely do Christmas lights as long as it stays cool. I feel like it might cool off a little bit. It's pretty hot right now, but there's plenty of opportunity in our town for sure. Plenty of opportunity.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I think the gutter business is a great business. It's you're attracting young men mostly who want to have feel purpose in their work. They don't want to work inside anymore. They don't want to work in restaurants. They just got out of the military and they feel like, what am I going to do? I was a military guy. What am I going to do now? Yeah. And I want to work outside with my hands. I want to feel proud of my work. I want to go home tired, all those things. And so we offer all of that to those men. And so I think that if you care about them, you invest in them, you give them the right tools and the right uniforms and you invest in them, then you can have a really thriving business. And but thanks for having me on. This was great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And guys, if we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube and Apple. So give us a follow if you're not already. Thanks again, Adam. And how can anyone get in touch with you? I know that you got the podcast they could watch.
Yeah, they can find me at adamsylvester.com. Everything's there. So just go there. Jobber Podcast is great for small business. And they can find me on Facebook too. So adamsylvester.com.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Tim.
See you, man.